Hi all, welcome to this week's episode of Let's Talk About. I'm Michelle Caterson, your host, and today I am going to have a chat. I know last week after I spoke to Naomi Berg from Purple Skirt, I said that this week was going to be the interview with Michaela from Wholeheartedly, but decided that there's going to be a podcast in the middle of those two. So Michaela will be next week, and this week I wanted to have a chat about celery juice, worm juice, and meditating. It's a random thing, and it was something that I was thinking about this morning. And I'll start with celery juice, because celery juice, it's I've known for a long time celery juice is really good. There's a sudden amazing craze about it. A guy called the Medical Medium from the US has been talking about it, and there's been a lot of conversations around what it can do, and if you want to know what the Medical Medium is, he's big on the internet, so just look him up. Talks all about liver detoxing and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I've had a number of people ask me for celery juice, and we have a group cleanse coming up. Kira and Daniel from Invictus 5 in Brisbane are putting together a seasonal fitness retreat, and it's coming up at the end of November, and they're going to run that with their clients at Invictus 5. So look them up. I'll put a link to those guys at the end, at the bottom of this video as well. So they're going to be running it where they're doing 1 or 2 full juice cleanse days, and then they're going to have some intermittent fast days as part of their program, and they want to break their fast each day with some celery juice. So I figured, since I've had quite a number of people asking me about it and suggesting that I should have it on the website, that's what I'm going to be doing. So this week we will actually start, to put a new product on the website takes a little bit of work. I'm going to create labels and go and get photos and all that sort of stuff. So just giving you a heads up now that it's coming. So keep your eyes open. Celery juice is going to be on the website soon. You'll be able to get it in a 250ml size, a 350ml glass bottle, and a 1 litre plastic as well. So moving on from celery juice, worm juice, and this is not the drinking type. So I was speaking to someone today who I mentioned that I was going to talk about worm juice, and they were like, so I was like, didn't realise that people would think that worm juice was for drinking. So just to clarify, not a drinking worm juice. This is worm juice that comes from the worms that eat a lot of the pulp that come from the juices. So I've got a little worm farm, and it's just not big enough. We go through a lot of fruit and veggies, and a lot of, as you can see, I've decided to come outside today, and we live on beautiful acreage property on the northern end of the Gold Coast, and it's got a back paddock with a heap of fruit trees in it that when I first moved here, they were on the point of death. A horse had been let to live in the paddock with the fruit trees, and the horse had eaten back the fruit trees to nearly nothing, and they were on the brink of death. I've been putting fruit pulp on those trees now for a few years, and they are all recovering, and they're all coming back to life, and it's awesome to be able to bring life to something. But going back to the worm farm just isn't quite big enough for what I want, and for the amount of pulp that we have as well. So we're building a bigger one. But what I wanted to do with that is put the offer out to people in the local area. So I'm on the northern Gold Coast, so there's probably Logan and the Gold Coast, depends on how far you want to drive. I'm going to be, if you bring your own containers, you'll be able to fill it up with worm juice and get tons of worm juice for your gardens. So it's a beautiful organic fertilizer, and this will be a very, very cheap way to get a very sustainable, beautiful organic fertilizer. So it's absolutely packed with microbes. It's really, really good at getting your soil to recover. So if you find that you want to do a garden and your soil condition is really, really poor, get the worm juice and get it into the soil and help to mulch it and stuff, and that will actually put a whole heap of microbes back into it. Now, I am no expert when it comes to soil, so I'm not trying to sound like an expert on this. This is just from the research I've done. But what we'll do is we'll put links on the website, and I'll do more information and everything, because I would really love to get the worm juice out to you guys. So that's the worm juice. Meditating. Now, this was a conversation I had with my sister on the weekend where we were talking about meditating, and she was saying how she really hasn't done it as much lately. She used to do it a lot. She doesn't do it very much now because she finds that she's too foggy, and she's like, just feels like she can't get her brain to focus. And so I thought about that, and like, I know myself, I have the worst monkey brain when it comes to meditation. Like, I sit down and I try and meditate, and whenever I try and meditate without it being a guided meditation, I have seriously got, my brain goes crazy, and I find it really, really difficult. And it's one of the excuses I hear a lot, and it's that I don't know how to meditate, I can't get my brain to shut up, so people give up. The other excuse is I don't have enough time. So with meditating, and it's one of the things I talked to my sister about, there's 2 meditation techniques in particular that I've included in my daily practice, and I think that it's really, really helping me with getting clarity around my purpose, why I'm here. It's really helping with my emotional state as well. Like, I feel like I'm calmer. I don't get as agitated. There's a whole heap of benefits that come from that regular meditation that I think, if you can find a way to bring it into your daily practice, is really, really worth it. It's worth the effort to put it into your daily practice. And it's something that, if you order a cleanse from us, we recommend that you meditate every day, that you journal, that you use the cleanse time as well, and the extra time that you get from doing a cleanse to really bring those practices into your life. So anyway, the 2 meditation techniques that I find really, really useful is there's one, it's called an energy activation, and it's actually Sarah McCrum, who is my energy coach. She does it daily. It's free. You go onto Facebook, and you can just join the energy activation group. I'll put a link under this video as well for anyone who's interested. You can actually just join the group every single day, depending on time zones for her. She lives on the Sunshine Coast, so most of the time it's at 6 a.m, but when she's traveling overseas it can change. But she's very, very regular and very consistent in the way that she does her work. So 6 a.m. every day she puts a new energy activation on Facebook. She does it live, and you can either wake up and join her, or you can do it when it suits you and just go back and watch the live later. So I find that getting up at the same time as her is fantastic. If I'm doing stuff like at the moment, my new exercise regime, I'm at the gym at 6 o'clock, so I actually miss her live. So I often, when I come home from the gym, I'll sit down and I'll do the meditation then. So it's a guided meditation, and it brings new energy into your body and helps you release old energy from your body. So it's really, really beautiful, really gentle, very easy just to sit for 20 minutes, breathe, relax, and let the energy flow. So that's the first one I really recommend. The other one, which I haven't done it for a little while, but I absolutely love it whenever I do it, is the Wim Hof breathing meditation. 15 to 20 minutes again, so it doesn't take very much time out of your day. It's something that with the Wim Hof, I find that because you breathe until you're nearly hyperventilating, like you get tingly in your fingers and stuff, and then you stop and you hold your breath, and then you let it out and you breathe again, and it's hard to think of anything else because all you can think about is your breath, and all you can think about is trying to keep up with the breathing. And then when you're holding your breath, it's like, oh, do I need to breathe? Because you're hyper-oxygenated at that stage. And so you don't need to breathe for ages and it feels really weird. But anyway, it is a really cool technique. So his and Tony Robbins does a very similar style as well with the breathing. And Tony Robbins brings in a gratitude practice and a few other things. So either or of those two is really good. I'll put the links to their YouTubes as well under this video. So, I highly recommend those types of meditations. If you find that the reason that you don't bring a meditation practice into your daily life is because of an excuse like, I don't know how to meditate, try these meditations and see if that changes that feeling. See if you find that you can meditate easier and better by using this style of guided meditation. Actually, a third one that I really love as well, I use this if I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I don't know of how many of you watching are business owners, but and actually I did it when I was working as well, so that's not even an excuse. Sometimes my brain goes so crazy at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I just cannot get back to sleep. I'm just like, my head's coming up with a billion things that I didn't do that day, and what I'm going to do next week, and what I'm going to do in 6 months' time, and where am I going to go on holidays. And it's just ridiculous how noisy it can be at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So one of the meditations that I use then, and I have these downloaded so that I'm not frying my brain with Wi-Fi in the middle of the night, is binaural beats. So binaural beats help to get your brain waves into a certain beat frequency and can take you back into like a deep sleep frequency, and it makes it much, much easier to get back to sleep. So yeah, they're the three. I was only going to say two, but sorry, I've just remembered the third one that I really love. Great meditation techniques, and with the internet as it is these days, there's no excuse for, you can't afford it. Everything's free. It's all on the internet. You can just grab it and plug it into your headphones and go. What I did want to talk about with that, because there's that excuse of, I don't know how to meditate, or I find meditating too hard, or I can't get my brain to shut off, or that style of excuse. Another one I often hear is the I don't have time excuse. And I know this one really well because I did it and still do it on occasion, especially if it's something that I actually just don't want to do. I'll use the excuse of I don't have time rather than I don't want to do it. So if you're using a don't have time excuse, see it for what it is, as an excuse. And if you actually do want to bring a meditation practice into your daily life, everyone has the same amount of time every day. There's no such thing as not having enough time. It's what you prioritize in your life to make time for. And when it comes to meditating, I think it was the Dalai Lama actually has a really cool quote that I love, which is, if he ever feels like he doesn't have time to meditate, he meditates twice as long. Because if he feels like he's rushed, he knows that he needs more time to focus on what's important. And that's one thing that meditation does, is it really helps to clear your mind of the noise and the distractions. So finding time or making time for meditating is something that can be actually just a learnt skill. For starters, stop telling yourself you can't make time for it, and then see where you're spending your time and make time for it. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. It's not going to kill you. It's, in the 20 minutes before you go to bed or as you're going to sleep, do a meditation then. I do it when I come home from the gym. I sit in my office and I meditate first, and I journal, and then I sit down and I start my day. So there's no excuse for not having enough time to meditate, and I really hope that some of these tips and techniques can really help with your own internal dialogue, so that if these are the things that you're saying to yourself and these are the things that are stopping you from bringing a beautiful meditation practice into your day every day, then hopefully this will help to change that, and then you get the chance to experience the benefits of meditation the way that so many people do get to experience. It's amazing. So anyway, that's me for today. I would love to have a chat and connect and really talk to you about where you're at. Like, I love trying new things. I love experimenting with my daily routine to work on getting the best out of myself that I can each day. So if there's things that you do that you go, wow, like this makes a huge difference in my life, I would love to hear about it. Please connect with me. Call me 1300 Juice It, or email info@juiceit.com.au. All my socials are @juiceit. So just, message me on any of the socials. Leave a comment below this video on YouTube. Would love to hear from you. So next week, as I said at the beginning, is the interview with Michaela. Now, Michaela is the author of the blog called Wholeheartedly, and she is a beautiful young lady who is a new mum, and we're going to share her experience from loss, from new life, and from a perspective of allowing yourself to feel joy when you're feeling grief. And she's just done a juice cleanse as well, and she's breastfeeding as well. And we're going to share and talk about that as to how to cleanse if you've got a major life event going on, like breastfeeding, where calorie restricting and only drinking juice is not the best option. So she brought through into her cleanse small meals to supplement her cleanse, and we're going to have a chat about how she did that and what she did and what she experienced from that. So look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you so much for listening today. Chat soon. Bye now.